The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.
Spring cleaning. The idea dates back to biblical times, with Catholics, Jews, Iranians all noting religious significance to thoroughly cleaning the home in the spring. Theology aside, it was practical too. Homes used to be lit with whale oil or kerosene and heated with wood or coal, the winter months leaving a layer of soot and grime in every room. With the arrival of spring, women would throw open windows, filling their homes with long-awaited sunshine, and take rugs outside, where they would beat out a year's worth of dust. Nowadays, even with cleaner heating systems and modern technology, when the calendar rolls to springtime, our inspiration to get our homes sparkling still prevails. And no home is truly clean without shining floors and crumb-free carpets. An observation made by a laundry list of brands selling machines to do just that, suck up dirt. So, how did one humble inventor dare to disrupt a $40 billion industry with one groundbreaking slogan? Say goodbye to the bag. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Dyson.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Wow. I have just learned what we're doing. I'm very excited. From what I remember, wasn't at one point I think that their slogan was never lose suction, which I always found very intriguing.
Because that was your personal slogan also?
Yes, that used to be my personal. I had that website.
You were going to sue for plagiarism.
Yeah, infringement. Okay, This is very exciting. Spring cleaning. We're coming into a new time of year. We've just had Easter. You had a lovely little Easter get-together yesterday.
Thank you. Made my famous carrot cake via your friend's grandma's recipe.
My friend Shauna's mom's recipe for carrot cake that I'm obsessed with. I now am so grateful that you have taken it on as one of your own cakes. It is the best cake in the world.
And very on brand for you. You did take a lot of cake and ham home with you.
I wouldn't say, I took enough. I think there's a difference between a lot and enough. I took an appropriate amount for what I contribute.
You were the only one who took any, so let's just leave it at that.
I would assume I'm the only one that brought Tupperware.
As always the case. And during this episode, I learned that vacuum is a word I will misspell 100% of the time.
V-A-C... Wait, vacuum. Use it in a sentence?
Jon, where is the vacuum?
Vacuum. Kind of the country of origin?
Vacuumia.
From the great Vacuumia. V-A-C...
That's where they get ya.
It's not V-A-C?
No, but is it more?
V-A-C-U-U-M?
Is it C, 1C or 2C?
It's 1C, 2U.
That's right. Yes. It took me... I'm still learning. I still can't retain it.
Well, just come to me and I'll let you know.
Do you have any words like that you can't retain how to spell?
You know, I'm one of those people. It's the same with words as it is with people. Like once I don't remember your name or once I don't know how to spell something, I'll never remember it.
Wait, so there's some people whose names you never remember?
There's so many, so many. Like, and in my head, like I get so panicked. Like if you're out with me and we come across someone I know, I will very rarely introduce you. I'm okay with both of you being like, he's so rude, I'm sorry, I'm Marisa, and then they say their name because I'm so panicked. I could have known them since childhood and know that their name's Elizabeth, but I'll be so scared to say it because I might be wrong.
My husband David does the opposite thing, which is absolutely horrendous. He guesses.
Oh, no.
He guesses, and he'll say, like, what's that person's name? I'm like, I think it's Tyler. And then he's like, I'm going to go for it. And he just guesses. And sometimes he's wrong. And I cannot believe he's so confident taking a big swing like that. I beg him. I say, do not guess. Do not
Don't
guess.
guess. Never guess. It makes me so,
Never
I feel
guess.
so bad when I say the wrong name.
Yeah.
Something else that's a little maybe weird that I know, like I usually know how many letters are in someone's name. So if I see a guy, I'm like, he's a 5. So I know he's like a Brian, or like I couldn't think of 2 names that had 5 letters.
He's like a Brian or a Brian.
Brian or Brion. Yeah, I'll be like, he's a 4, it's a Matt or a Mike or a John. I don't know. I know how many letters there are, but I don't know what your name is.
You have a weird little number thing.
Yeah, I'm like Rain Man or something, I guess.
The shampoo squirts, one for each of your siblings.
Well, that's not weird. I squirt one out for each of my siblings. Sometimes if I feel like throwing 2 more in, those are for my parents.
Yeah, you have some funny number stuff.
Yeah, I do.
You're special.
So it's a big week coming up for the world. We have the eclipse coming up. I know
yes.
I've talked about it a little bit. We are 7 days away from the eclipse. I am 100% certain I'm going to see the eclipse. I have made no plans yet. And the closest it is Texas. So
you're just sure in your bones that you will see a full solar eclipse.
I guarantee that in 7 days from now, I will be in another state and I will have experienced.
You know, this a journey like this takes some planning. Last I heard, tickets are anywhere from $4,000 to fly in to see the eclipse.
If you're saying I may have to sell some of my limited edition Peeps, I will do that. I'll do whatever it takes. I've looked at flights for Ohio over the weekend, and they weren't that bad. I may have to stay a few days after the eclipse, but that's not a big deal. I was actually a little worried to bring this subject up because having known you for as long as I have, you have made a lot of comments over the years about how much you consider space exploration a waste of money. And I know that this isn't really like, I mean, obviously some money did go into this or we wouldn't know that it's happening. So
that's true. Yeah, there might have been someone had a bad telescope along the line.
You despise spending money on space exploration because you feel like it should be spent on Earth.
I think we got enough problems here on Earth, and I think we need to sort all those out before we start looking up.
Okay.
Only 10% of the ocean has been explored.
Okay.
So I say enough with the spacesuit and put on the water suit.
What is better about exploring the ocean than space? It's all part of our, like, it's all us, man.
Well, space has nothing to do with us. We don't eat from it. We can't go in it. We can't float on it. We can't do anything in there. Space rejects us at every opportunity.
Fair enough. We'll just, we both have our views. I see them kind of similar. They're both.
You think the ocean is the space of Earth?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think space, yes. The ocean is the space of Earth.
It is a
actually no,
dark
I don't. I think space is just the space of Earth. Like, what are you talking about?
No, you agree. Ocean is the space of Earth. You're on the record.
They both deserve, in my opinion, exploration. I'm happy that we're spreading the wealth.
I don't know. I'm suspicious. I think these astronauts. I think they're taking a little off the top. I gotta check the books. I'm not trusting them.
You're gonna do
I'm gonna do a personal audit of NASA.
An audit of NASA.
Yes.
Next, in 2 months, on a very special On Brand, we have uncovered some secrets of NASA. You'll probably make fun of me for this like you do with everything. But as far as space, like we used to do improv a lot. We used to do a lot of live shows, and I would always get very nervous before a live show. And I would always think of space. You think of the vastness of space and how big it is, and that you hear all these things like there's more galaxies than there are grains of sand on Earth and blah, blah, blah. And it's just so, it's like people that have like billions of dollars, I can't comprehend how much it is. So that always kept me very like, you know what, this show doesn't matter. I can do this. We're so tiny and insignificant.
It's certainly true in the case of this show.
Hey, we love this show.
John, spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to spring cleaning? Is this the time of year you get really motivated to make your home spick and span?
No, I'm really quite bad at keeping a tidy home. So I have...
The seasons mean nothing to you. There's no throwing open the curtains and the windows, letting fresh air in, fluffing up the duvet.
Not really. I mean, I wish it's so, I love that in theory. To me, just you saying that sounds like a movie because my apartment's so small. Like throwing open the windows in a tiny apartment doesn't have the same effect of like having a big living room and you have a cross breeze going through your house and this and that. So I don't really get that whole, like, it's spring, let's clean. Like I
Well, you have a maid.
Well, I have someone that cleans my apartment now once a month.
I think that's technically a maid, John.
I don't know that they go is maid. I feel like that's not
Maid is not appropriate.
I don't know that. Is that what we call them now? I'm not like, oh, my maid's coming tomorrow. That feels so like 70s.
You have a maid, John.
I have a maid in my employ.
Yes, in your employ. Do you make her wear like a little black
Make
and
her wear
white?
my Joe Cool t-shirt. No, she's the sweetest woman. She tells me she loves me. She doesn't shame me. You come into my apartment, there's a lot of stuff, and like I have to pre-clean before she comes. But she's just very nice, and she at least kind of keeps me feeling somewhat normal.
I'm glad you found somebody, because I remember you went through a few maids before, and there was like a woman who she would only clean like as far as she could reach into the microwave, and so half of the microwave there was like a line of grease, like a demarcation line of grease, just as far as she could reach.
Yeah. There's been a lot of quirky people in my apartment over the years cleaning my house. There was one that I had on and off for a few years. And that was back when I had a lot more action figures. And every time they would clean, I would come home. And it wouldn't be noticeable right away, but I would be sitting and working, and I would realize that one of my action figures had been moved. And it was like waving at, like she had put it in like a wave pose, or like kind of rearranged action figures in different ways every time she came.
And you liked that or didn't like it?
It was kind of fun.
That's fine.
I mean,
I don't action figure. You had loose action figures out?
Yeah.
What kind of action figures?
I mean, Star Wars, Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in little tableau?
No, like I would just have them like on the shelves above my desk.
Wow, a little line of action figures.
I've gone through a lot of
You are
moments.
a boy at heart.
Taylor has all her eras. Like mine's like action figure era, whatever, graphic tee era.
When you thought you were going to get into making Oreo balls.
Oreo balls. You always come back to that one. Well, what about you? You are all into spring cleaning?
Yes, I'm somewhat into spring cleaning. I think, with children, there is kind of a daily cleaning that has to take place just to keep the chaos at bay. But I have been feeling particularly motivated to go through the closets and get rid of stuff, go through the cabinets, go through all the old spices, get out all the old food, whatever, that kind of stuff. I do feel the changing of the seasons does stir something in me.
Yeah, you're much better than I am about. You will let go of things.
I love getting rid of things.
Have you ever gotten rid of anything you regret?
It's happened before where I'm like, oh yeah, that thing I got rid of. And then with joy, I will relish repurchasing because I do not care. And that's my mom's thing too, because she hangs on to everything too. She's like, what if we needed 40 twist ties from bread bags to do a craft?
Yeah.
I feel no pain repurchasing something because it's like I didn't have to look after it for however many years while I wasn't using it. And then I gave it away to somebody else. And I don't throw things in the trash. You can always find a home for something. Here in LA, you can leave anything like on the sidewalk and it'll be gone in 5 minutes. It doesn't make you feel guilty. It's not like stuff is like going to a landfill. You can get rid of anything. And then if you have to repurchase it, sure, $5.99, big deal. Who cares?
All right, so Dyson. Is this a juicy story?
It's a very fun story. Do you have a Dyson? I have a Dyson handheld that was a gift because they are pretty pricey as far as vacuums go. So do you have a Dyson? Have you ever used a Dyson?
No. I've used Dyson products, like their hand dryers at various places, the V-shaped thing. I hated one of the early ones where you had to it was like plain, you know what it was? It was plain Operation. Like it had like those two weird kind of like sleeves and you had to stick your hands in them. And I tried to do it without touching it because it felt gross to touch it.
Yeah.
So I've used that, but no other Dyson thing have I used.
Well, I have a little handheld Dyson. I think this is one of the popular ones because it is pretty expensive. So it's the little handheld one that has little attachments and tools and stuff like that. And, they're cordless and they're very powerful. I do love cleaning gizmos, like cleaning gadgets and gizmos. So the Dyson and the vacuum world does get me very excited.
I don't feel like I see them advertising. Like when they first hit the scene, like that guy, that English guy who I think started the company, like they must have had an insane ad budget because they just really let us know that they were here. It felt very cool. Like you said, it disrupted this whole like boring vacuum scene that had been around forever. But I kind of don't know what they're up to because I don't see it anymore.
That's interesting. Yeah, their early commercial campaigns were kind of introducing people to the brand and introducing people to the founder. Now, a lot of their marketing is through social media videos. So there's a lot of cleaning videos on like TikTok and places like that where they'll send products like in exchange for reviews and things like that. So there's a lot of Dyson marketing going on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. So let's get a little bit into the history. This is a pretty fun one. So this man, James Dyson, I'll refer to him as Dyson and James throughout the history so you won't get confused. His name is James.
Please tell me when he was a kid, he went around a neighborhood, he had some tiny little suction device that could only pick up like a small little thing. But
Pulled by a little wagon
Yeah.
in jolly old England.
Yeah.
He was born to like a humble family. He had the 3 kids in this family. This is 1947 when he was born in Norfolk. Is it Norfolk? Norfolk. That can't be right.
No, there's no way it's Norfolk.
I say Norfolk because I'm in America.
You know, he's going to have to beep every time we say Norfolk.
It's not Norfolk. It's Norfolk.
Norfolk.
That's still
That's so
If I'm an American, I'm saying Norfolk. So he was born in 1947 in Norfolk, England, and he was one of 3 kids. They're a humble little family. He went to boarding school called Gresham's, and it was it's a kind of ritzy school that he was able to attend for free because his father was a teacher there. And this is a fun fact because Alistair, our producer, his dad went to school with James Dyson.
What?
They were schoolmates together.
Did you know that, Alistair?
We did hear this at a dinner when he came to visit. And I thought that was a very fun fact. So the school is called Gresham's, and this is in Norfolk. And unfortunately, James's father passed away when James was 9, but the school allowed him to stay and complete his education for free. So he stayed there and boarded there for the remainder of his education. And just the idea of boarding school. Can you imagine?
English boarding school.
It starts at 7 years old.
Wow.
You live at school.
You're carrying this is back when you're carrying your books around with like a leather strap.
A little leather belt.
You have those cute little shoes.
Honestly, if you look, I spent way too much time on the Gresham's website, and they have uniforms, and it still looks like that. Like, it's still like basically a little belt to carry around the books.
I'm sure.
Little shiny buckly shoes.
So cute.
It's so cute. When you were 7, would you have loved to be sent away?
You know,
A little vampire.
a tiny little vampire in boarding school.
Ooh,
there's your movie. Matt Damon, can he play a 7-year-old? Well, with technology, we'll figure all the logistics out.
We could de-age him, sure.
I could definitely see that.
I love that.
I just am dying to find out when he became obsessed with suction. Like, what kid is like, I am going to make something that doesn't lose suction?
Well, you know what? It's not just suction. It's just that he's kind of like a visionary. He's an inventor. He's an inventor more than a man obsessed with suction. Can you connect with him in that way, or was more of the suction part of him that you were really connecting to?
I was hoping this show would be about 80% about suction. All things suction. The history of suction, different roads of suction.
I love that.
I'm sure I have some personal anecdotes about suction.
That might have to be behind the paywall.
Yeah,
that's
when we have our
Patreon.
Patreon.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
So he stayed at this school, and the school, it's gorgeous. If you want to just visit a website for a boarding school in England that was founded in 1555, it's a really lovely place to click around on the web. He got a great education there, and then he went on to study art and furniture design, interior design, engineering. So you're kind of seeing the pieces because, you know, Dyson, it's not just a brand you associate with just like function. There also is like a form and an artistry to it. It does have some like heavy design influences, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like when they were doing those advertisements, they were trying to kind of put them in the same category of like Apple.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So he developed this lifelong obsession with functional design and engineering. When he was at art school, he went to the Royal College of Art, and he had an idea for a new type of, well, it's not a wheelbarrow. It's just called a barrow. And he invented the ball barrow. Can you guess what a ball barrow is? Knowing what a wheelbarrow is, can you surmise what a ball barrow is?
I honestly feel like I can picture it perfectly because they have a vacuum that has a ball. It's
Yeah.
like a wheelbarrow.
He's ball obsessed.
And You pointed at me. I don't understand. So you said, yeah, he's ball obsessed. And then you're like, hey, like me. I'm obsessed with balls. Got it.
So what you're picturing is probably accurate. Instead of the little wheel in the front of the wheelbarrow, he invented the ball barrow. And so
were there 2 balls in the back?
No 2 balls in the back, just the regular standard pegs.
Okay.
But,
right. I guess those aren't balls. Then you couldn't put it down on a hill, on a slope.
Exactly.
If we're in England.
Exactly. It was just in England, it is a slope, technically.
Yeah. Technically, they're all slopes.
So it had the pegs in the back and instead of the little wheel in the front. So a problem with wheelbarrows is that if you're pushing it over like soft ground, the wheel would kind of get stuck. It would be kind of hard to maneuver. So with the ball, it would spread the load in a different way that it would be.
Okay.
Hello.
Now you have my attention.
It made it much easier to maneuver. So this was a pretty good invention for, this guy out of design school. And it won the Building Design Innovation Award in 1977. So now he's really pumping. His little engineer hat is on. His little inventor hat is on.
Bravo. You know what it reminds me of? And this is going to make me sound so gay, but it's like when a woman wears high heels like on a muddy grass.
Yes.
And the heel goes through.
It should be balls.
It should be balls. Everyone should wear balls on their feet.
Honestly, would that work? Like
Instead
stiletto, a Christian Louboutin, instead of the pointy stiletto heel, it's just a big plastic ball.
It's just like a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hello, sharks.
Okay, well, he's not the only inventor in the building.
Al, I hope you keep notes of all these things that we need to go back to after the show. We have to write that movie about the vampire in boarding school and the ball shoes.
These are his plans B and C in our careers. So he's in this kind of like ball wheel concept headspace, and he has this design for this trolley ball boat launcher, and he has a...
I don't want to... I hate that I keep interrupting. These
go
things
ahead.
are just running through my mind.
Go ahead.
I have like a whiteboard in my mind when I'm thinking about this guy.
Yes.
He has obsessions. Like
Yes.
the top just says, my obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
Balls, suction. Okay, go.
So a sad thing happened with the company, not like sad, but sad for him, what he calls his biggest mistake in business, where he basically lost control of the company because he assigned the patent for his ball barrow to the company instead of himself personally, which I didn't know this, but if you're an inventor out there and you patent something, you are supposed to personally maintain the patent. So he basically like lost control of the company, and he later got fired by his own company that he invented. So, it's a rags to riches story.
Interesting, though, a little parallel, something I just referred to a minute ago, that they kind of are trying to be seen in the same vein as Apple. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs was also fired from his own company at one point and then brought back. So, that's not the end of the story necessarily.
A lot of parallels. So he was spraying these metal frames for the ball barrow in 1978. So this is something he was even doing. So he invented the company, he was losing the company, but he's the one like holding the spray gun, and he's noticing the excess powder for the paint is like missing the frames, and it's getting caught in the cloth behind. It's getting all clogged. And he's thinking like, this is so wasteful. Like this paint is just spraying all over. He was inspired by an industrial cyclone he's seen at a sawmill. So that was like, I guess it pulls like the sawmill debris away from whatever. Who knows what a sawmill is, but it was something that inspired him.
I bet most of the people do.
Have you ever visited a sawmill?
Well, no, I haven't visited it, but I know what it is.
Okay,
it's a
well,
mill
I
with their
don't.
saws. I mean, it's like in the name. What's a candy factory? How the hell am I supposed to know?
I've never been to one. He built a 25-foot cyclone to suck the powder away from his powder coat painting.
Suck. Okay.
Okay, so now your ears are perking up.
We're coming.
And it worked. So this would describe as what he said. He invented a form of a filter that never clogged. So, okay, we're getting in the vein.
Oh my God. He wants things to last forever.
Your sucking dreams are coming true.
Oh.
At the same time, parallel to this little invention for spray painting, he noticed an annoying problem at home with his new top-of-the-line Hoover vacuum. The non-reusable bag frequently clogged with dust and dirt. Even just saying vacuum bag, doesn't that feel like from 200 years ago?
So long ago.
Have you ever had a vacuum like that? I mean, surely you did, where you had to like fluff open the bag and screw it on. I mean, it's hell.
You had that little hole and you had to like cover the thing and then zip up the back, and it was a whole thing.
It was terrible. You know who I feel like still use those is like hotel maids.
Probably.
And those always seem like the big bag, like the fabric bag.
Yeah.
So he wondered if the same technology that he had installed in his ball barrow factory could be applied to vacuum cleaners. So he constructed a cyclone made from cardboard and tape. He strapped it to his upright Hoover vacuum cleaner in place of the bag, And it worked. It wasn't great, but it worked well enough for him to see that the idea had some potential. So the directors of the Ball Barrow Company, the company he started, thought that if a better way to make a vacuum was possible, Hoover would have already done it, Electrolux would have already invented it, but he was undeterred. He was kicked out of his own company. This is when he got kicked out. For 4 years, Dyson worked in the shed behind his house. His wife supported them by working as an art teacher. 5,127 prototypes later, the first cyclonic vacuum cleaner was ready for production. Wrap your mind around that number.
That is a lot of suction.
We are on our first podcast. Do we have to go through 5,127 premises for podcasts before we're ready for the big leagues?
I have so many things going through my head. Like, I feel like every day that this guy lived was completely different than every day I've lived. Like, I would never think about one thing he thought about.
Okay.
It's just like, I love the obsession of it. And I love that he found application for it and the drive for it. Good for him.
Good for him. And to be not deterred. I mean, I'm sure, say like attempt prototype 4,038, he was like, oh, God, do I really keep going? He was still 1,000 prototypes away from like his end result.
I want to know I wish I could see how much, and maybe there's a museum we'll go visit sometime if
I'd
we're
love
ever
to.
over there. What a prototype looked like how much was involved in creating each prototype.
Cardboard tape, spoons.
Yeah, it's really easy. I mean, this is way before, 3D printing or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's how everyone would do everything now. You just keep printing out new things. But
Yeah, I'm sure he had a little hammer, a little screwdriver. He was really tinkering, I think. I mean, he's in a shed. He's tinkering. How can you not tinker in a shed?
Yeah.
So he struggled to find someone to license his design in the UK and America. Manufacturing companies like Hoover, they didn't want to license it because the vacuum bag market was worth $500 million. Why would they want to license something that would be a threat to their vacuum bag profits?
That's how they get you. And that's why that original company, Ball Barrow, was wrong, because that's the best thing a company can have, is having an add-on. We saw it with Polaroid and their film. Like, that's the whole thing. If you make a hardware and it has something that only you sell that goes with it, you're gold. You'll make more money on that than you will on the product itself.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
You're
We're like
welcome.
doctors.
We're basically doctors.
We're basically brand doctors.
We are.
My mind keeps wanting to make this show blue with the whole suction thing, and I'm picturing him with those 5,000 prototypes. Like, at some point, he must have run out of, like, dirt to suck up. So, like, what was he sucking up?
You think he put his penis in a vacuum?
No, but I just wanted to... I wanted others to think that.
You weren't thinking it, of course not.
And then he's like, I got it! Sorry. All right, I'm done with it.
My father is going to be so happy that you suggested this.
My apologies to Al's dad.
But do you think he gave up? Do you think he was deterred? What do we know about this man so far?
Well, I know that you can buy the thing, so my guess is
He persevered?
Maybe he gave up.
So he eventually found one of the companies that he had worked for right after design school. They were willing to license the technology so that he created his first vacuum. And the name of the vacuum was the Clean Ease Rotork Cyclone. Is there a worse name you could ever imagine?
That's rough.
Sold through a mail order catalog?
Why not just the Cyclone?
Great. Brand-Aid. Great.
Brand-Aid.
Great.
1970s Brand-Aid, or whenever this was.
This was 1983. So 1983, the Clean Ease Rotork Cyclone was the first publicly sold vacuum cleaner of Dyson's design. Only about 500 units were sold. Do you think he gave up now, John?
I think he did. I think this is the end of the story.
There is a fun twist, a little bit of drama. So he sent the prototype machines, drawings, and confidential information to Amway. Are you familiar with Amway? As part of a proposed licensing deal. The deal fell through. But in 1985, Amway produced the CMS 1000, a machine very similar to the Dyson design.
Amway is shady.
So
We've had Amway
shady.
in my dad got into Amway stuff for a little while.
I feel like that was a dad thing.
Yeah. At that time. I think a lot of dads did that.
Make some quick cash.
Yeah. And even then, I didn't really... I was young. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I just didn't feel right.
Something didn't sit right with you.
Yeah. This can't be good.
Your dad is like, so John, I'm going to be working on Saturday. I'm going around showing people some power tools. And you're like, Dad, something about this doesn't feel right.
I'm going to stay home and put stickers in my sticker book if that's cool with you. I got some new scratch and sniffs.
Oh, I love a scratch and sniff sticker. So less than a month later, after they released their similar to Dyson design, he sued them for patent infringement, and he did win. 1985, a Japanese company expressed interest in licensing his design, and by March of 1986, year I was born, 1986, a reworked version of the Cyclone called the G-Force was put into production and sold in Japan. It is bright pink. It looks so 80s. Like, imagine it like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like a little pink vacuum.
Yeah.
It had an attachment that it could turn it into a table to save space in small Japanese apartments.
That's very clever.
So cute. And they sold for, accounting for inflation, what it would be today, the equivalent of $5,500.
Oh my God.
Isn't that wild? In 1991, it won an International Design Fair Prize in Japan, became a status symbol to own a G-Force, of course.
Yeah.
And using the income from the Japanese license, he was able to set up his own company, finally, Dyson Appliances Unlimited, which later just became Dyson, obviously, in 1991. So now he is like off to the races. He's got a little chunk of cash. He's off on his own. He's not working for anybody else. And then this is when Dyson had an idea that would change vacuums forever. Market research showed that customers did not want to see the dust, meaning the container had to be opaque. But Dyson, forever the disruptor, believed so strongly in the potential of a transparent canister that he went for it anyway. And it turned out to be an enduring feature which has been heavily imitated. And honestly, I'd say it's hard, nearly impossible, to find a vacuum that doesn't have this. The clear canister to see the dust.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you want to think a lot of people using this are like, I'm a clean person. I don't have dirt, but I vacuum just to stay clean. And this thing is like, this is how dirty I am. Look at
The
how,
shame.
Yeah, look how disgusting I am. But it's like also like those people that like to pop their own zits. Like they're like, look at all the dirt I'm pulling out of the carpet here. Like they like kind of the filth of it all.
I find it to be incredibly satisfying to see if I start with an empty canister and then I'm going over whatever my rug in my living room and I'm watching that canister fill. Oh, it's like, it's erotic. I love it.
I'm sure I would feel that way too if I didn't have a maid in my employ.
I'm sure your maid feels that way.
I hope that she has these same feelings.
I was thinking about it. I don't think I've seen a vacuum that doesn't have this. So this was, when you picture a modern vacuum, the canister is always clear. And that is, to Dyson's credit, forever flipping the script on what our expectations.
Good for him.
So his vacuum that he invented now with his own company, the DC-01, became the biggest selling vacuum cleaner in the United Kingdom in just 18 months. By 2001, it made up 47% of the upright vacuum cleaner market.
That's a lot of sucking.
That's a lot of sucking.
That's so much sucking. Wow, good for him. See, this is what we're saying. Like if you are trying to make something and you've tried for thousands of tries and you're like, I just don't know if I have it in me anymore. Just keep sucking and it'll eventually get there.
Just keep sucking. Just keep sucking.
You've got to keep sucking no matter what happens.
That's really good advice. Was that your senior quote in your yearbook?
Just keep sucking.
It might have to be our merch. A hat that says just keep sucking.
Yeah.
In 2002, this would be a fun moment in the movie. It couldn't be Matt Damon. I feel like he can't do a British accent. Whoever's the equivalent of Matt Damon.
I'm sorry. You don't think Matt Damon can handle a British accent?
I kind of don't, because he was in that one movie with Ben Affleck where he had a British accent. Yeah, I forget the name of it. I don't know.
Anyone
can
do a British accent.
If anyone can.
No, I said anyone can.
Oh.
Right,
if
Al?
anyone can, it's Matt Damon.
If there is one man on this earth.
He has his limits.
Fine.
It's somebody else, but this will be a great scene in the movie. A court found that Hoover's triple vortex vacuums were a blatant attempt to copy Dyson's design, the same Cyclone technology that he offered to sell Hoover a decade earlier.
Wow.
And Hoover agreed to pay Dyson more than $6 million in 2002 for patent infringement.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love that kind of thing.
Oh, it's just delicious.
Yeah. No, they're like, we don't need you. Go away, little boy.
And then they're like, Cyclone technology, eh?
Super suction, eh?
John, head of suction department.
Department
Check
of
this
Suction.
out.
I love it. I'm sorry, Al's dad.
By 2005, he came out with the big ball vacuum, the vacuum with the big ball. Which honestly, if I think of Dyson vacuums, that's the one I think of, the big ball.
Me too.
Are you okay?
That's a big ball. Oh, man. This guy's a bird. I feel like you right now.
I know. This is like what you accuse me of.
But your mind's real. It's like been in front of our eyes the whole time. All he cares about are balls and suction.
Yeah, that's a really good
He
point.
made millions off of it. I'm going to be in the shed for a few years, honey. Got to figure a couple things out. Comes out and he's a master sucker.
His beard is like down to his belly button. Penis is about to fall off, all withered and purple. Honey, the kids are grown. Little Jed's off to boarding school.
Oh my gosh, what a story.
What a story.
Yeah, well, I am glad that he stuck it to Hoover.
Yeah.
It's so funny how I like all brands like in some way. Like, great, Hoover's a great brand. I mean, I don't know.
We can respect it.
I know
sure.
nothing about them, but yeah, they're a brand. I could see doing a show on them. But it's like I also like that like brands that are so complacent or feel like they're the only ones. It's like Method when Method hit the scene, and like all the other like cleaners that have been around forever like took up the whole thing, and then they kind of like disrupted.
And then
like,
Mrs. Myers came in and was like, Method, eat my ass. It's fun because like there's always gonna be some little guy, and then there's always gonna be somebody on top, and then even like Method and Mrs. Myers, it's like they sell out to whatever Johnson and Johnson, and then there's a new little guy coming in to get a little space on the Kmart shelf.
Yeah, and though we haven't done it yet, Mrs. Myers, I think, is one of those brands that was also around for a very long time. Like they started very humbly and were around forever, and then finally
an old lady with a funnel in her basement. Yeah,
yeah, it's like anything really.
God,
it's like
I
what
love
is
it.
that like comedians? Like they worked a lifetime to be famous, an overnight sensation or whatever.
Yeah, and people might think that about Dyson as well. I think doing over 5,000 prototypes is the definition of not being an overnight success. This guy put in the work. So whether you think the vacuums are good or bad or overpriced or whatever, you have to acknowledge that he worked his little fanny off.
Yeah.
Worked his little something off.
Something off. He sucked something off.
So now it's just kind of like it's just new versions of vacuums are coming out all the time. 2009 was when he came out with the Air Blade. That's the hand dryer. This in airports that you do this and it like uses a blade of air to like scrape the water off your hands.
I like the newer one. I don't know if that's still called the Blade. It's kind of shaped like a V. You don't have to stick anything in anything.
No,
It's
you
just
can
like
come in at the top and then like slowly lift your hands up.
No, there's even newer ones than that now. It's like a.
I don't know if those are Dyson brand though, because this is the Airblade. We'll have to look into that. Have you seen the fan and the heater that are like the bladeless fans? Have you seen that? It'll either be a circle.
Oh yeah.
How does that work? It's crazy.
I don't know how that works. I did think it was super cool when I first saw it, but it also almost seemed of that time when as soon as you see it, you're like, this is only right now, I feel like.
For sure.
But I did think it was super cool looking.
He's on to the next thing. I stayed at an Airbnb that didn't have any heating or air conditioning, and it had one of those, and I found it to be sufficient.
Really? Mm-hmm. Could I interrupt?
Yeah.
So we're both right here. I just looked it up quickly. The Dyson Airblade. The Dyson Airblade original one is the weird kind of hospital-y one that you stick your hands into and you're playing Operation. The Dyson Airblade 5 is the one I'm talking about that's just, it's all open. It's like a V.
Oh, yes. I know what this one is. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
this one is weird too. This one looks like very industrial in a strange way. We'll post pics of the Dyson Airblade. In what world do people care about seeing a Dyson Airblade? It's so
We'll
funny.
post dozens of pictures of Dyson Airblades.
Yeah, he's always trying stuff. He has in 2018 a $450 hair dryer / curling iron came out, and this has over 9,000 5-star reviews. There's that many people that are willing to spend $450 for his special hair dryer. Dries your hair fast. It does a good job. Whatever. Everything he does, he wants to like just take something that's a very common everyday product and reimagine it to make it like work better, faster, smarter than before. So I give him kudos. The vacuums nowadays, if you were to buy a Dyson, the cheapest one is a few $100s. The most expensive one is $1,000, which compared to the early model in Japan that was like $5,500, it seems like a deal. So if you're in the market for a Dyson, The word in the Dyson subreddit is that the quality has kind of gone down over the past few years. They say, oh, if you bought one 10 years ago, it's probably still kicking. If you buy a new one, it just doesn't feel, I don't know, as substantial. So I don't know. Weigh in. Send us a message if you have a strong feelings one way or another. They moved manufacturing from UK to Singapore, which, you know, people in the Dyson subreddit had a lot of strong feelings about, as you can imagine. But yeah, I like my Dyson. It's going strong. And I feel like if I was in the market for another vacuum, like a big upright something vacuum, I'm sure Dyson would be at the top of my Christmas list.
That's great. Maybe if I ever get a home or a place that would justify having such a substantial vacuum, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, they're definitely not hurting for our business. They made $6.5 billion last year. So they're doing very well. Yeah, he's the number. There was a point he was the number one richest man in the United Kingdom.
Till Harry Potter came in.
Came
in on his broom, which Alistair loves. That's, you know, why don't you like Harry Potter? I mean, so much of it takes place on brooms.
I like Harry Potter.
Wait, and is that why you don't like Dyson? Because it's a threat to your broom?
That's why you hate Dyson and hate Harry Potter? Did you read the books?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, learn something new every day.
Wow.
You're a wizard, Al. His empire is worth an estimated $4 billion. So he's among the 300 richest people in the world, and he's one of the top 3 richest people in the United Kingdom. So he's doing very well for himself.
Is he? I picture him like, no matter how much money he makes, he's still going back in that shed thinking that he can figure out a way to suck better. Suck harder, suck longer. And he's just going to keep moving forward.
I'm sure that's true.
Good for him.
That's all I got on Dyson. I hope you lived, learned, laughed, loved.
I'm exhausted. I mean, what a ride we've been on. I never knew that a vacuum could be so interesting.
Right?
That's
it's
what
a fun
I love
one.
about this show.
I know. It's genuinely quite intriguing.
Thank you. Thank you for teaching me all about that. And thanks to Al's dad for...
We won't say his name to protect his identity. We'll just refer to him as Al's dad.
Al's father. For planting the seed.
Yes, wonderful suggestion.
Yeah.
And his schoolmate.
And I know I did already apologize for this, but I'm sorry that I made this show so blue. That's usually a Marisa thing to do, but...
Yeah, talking incessantly about sucking is very off-brand for you. In terms of this pod anyway, off-pod it is quite on-brand.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but anyway. Well, thank you very much. That was a great learning episode for me.
Do you have anything else for me, John?
I have a tiny bit of brand news. I don't know if it falls under brand news yet. I know. So
where are you going to put in the ding?
I know. I don't know if it deserves a ding.
Maybe a really tiny ding?
Yeah, maybe this is just brand news. No, I don't know if you saw in the news in the last week, there's been a couple of things talked about that have really put some people up in arms.
Oh.
2 things that we have known forever that have been the same price for decades. The classic Costco hot dog combo and the Trader Joe's bananas. Trader Joe's bananas have been 19 cents forever. They've raised the price to 23 cents for the first time in decades.
Wow.
People are losing their minds over it.
God.
It's like, I mean, listen, and I know we're all struggling with money, but in my head, I was like, it's 4 cents. Like and it's like 20 years. They've raised it 4 cents.
It's about as cheap as a food can be.
It's about as cheap. And the funny thing is, I was at Trader Joe's yesterday, and they're like, we're out of bananas. I was like, okay, so maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Maybe a good move.
So there's that. And then some executive who was exiting Costco, I don't know if he was just doing this to stir up the pot, but he's like, I don't think that $1.50 hot dog combo is going to be around forever. I'm just saying. And everyone's
That's like what he said as he walked out of the building?
Yeah, and then the door slammed.
Wow, very ominous. Was he quitting or did he got fired?
I really don't know.
It feels like something you'd say after you got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
like in a
to cause
panic.
trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are 2 things. It was interesting that they both came up on the same week.
Interesting.
2 things that people have really relied on for a long time. But like, see, now you can see like what I said. It's not really brand news or...
Well, I have an idea. If the hot dog ends up being too expensive, you could just get a bun and put a banana in it.
You know, that probably would be cheaper.
And the size and shape is a pretty clear transfer.
Or if you wanted to get cheap hot dogs at Trader Joe's, you could take the banana out of the peel and fill all the peels with hot dogs.
Okay.
And then you're getting a hot dog for 23 cents.
And they'll say, do you want me to swap these out for different bananas? The peels all seem to be open and like stuffed with hot dogs.
No. These are good. I already looked them over. Thank you so much. Here's your 56 cents. Gotta go.
The perfect crime.
Maybe these were Brand-Aids. There you go. We've solved your problems. If you're all up in arms about either of these things.
Okay, Trader Joe's, you're now selling hot dogs and banana peels. Costco, you're now selling bananas and hot dog buns. There you go.
Done. Thank you,
work
sir.
here's done.
Great show. You guys, you know how... Listen, I'm going to get serious for a minute.
You're doing it today. Okay,
I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to lead up to it because you said something in the show that really sparked me. Something that, if it was me, would have brought me so much joy. 9,000 people gave reviews on this vacuum cleaner. 9,000. Us, we have 131 reviews on Apple. I love reading reviews. I love hearing what people have to say. We've been stuck for a month now. Every day I check it. Every day I wake up. I'm like, I don't care what's going on in the world. Has anyone said anything on Apple reviews?
Your eyes blink open and you're racing to Apple Podcasts.
I don't want to sound desperate, but guys, I'm desperate. Let me know you're out there. Just be like, A+, thumbs up, something. Only good. All right, now you can do your spiel.
Okay, as John mentioned, please subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. We will have some clips from the show and some fun behind-the-scenes peek at Dyson on our Instagram at OnBrandThePod or our TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast. And we love to hear from you guys. If you have a show you want us to talk about or any thoughts on this week's brand, write to us there or on Apple Podcasts. And we will be back next week with an all-new episode of On Brand. Will John see the eclipse? Tune in to find out.
And as we love to say, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.
On brand.